Easily the most hotly debated topic in the internet wrestling community is John Cena. I don't even think anybody will disagree with that. I don't think anybody will even question that. The most talked about, discussed, and debated individual in all of professional wrestling has to be John Felix Anthony Cena. And you see all types of different discussions about him, how he's booked, his character, his spot at the top, not putting anyone over, skip-de-skip and whoop-de-whoop. All of these topics and debates and discussions happen. You have the people that'll sit there and say, well, you got to do something different with him. But then the other people will sit there and say, well, yeah, but he's the guy at the top. He's money for them. You got to understand the business impact of whatever you do with John Cena. There's a reason they put him at the top and all of this. But the thing that gives me the most humor, if you will, makes me laugh out loud the most, is when I see people suggest that John Cena should turn heel. I laugh about this. I think it's hilarious. But to be fair, I understand where people are coming from. Let's put it this way. Let's break it down as simply as we can. John Cena has been at the top of WWE for over 9 years now. His run at the top of WWE is longer than Hulk Hogan's was in the 80s and early 90s. Let that sink in for a second. He has been basically the same freaking guy, pounded into the same freaking spot in the same freaking way for over 9 years now. Putting out a new shirt and other Cena merch with his images, likenesses, sayings on it every 2 months is not evolution or change of the character in any way, shape, or form. I get why people are tired of this fuck. He's been pounded into this top spot month after month, year after year. They put out all this stupid merch with them every month or two. You know, it's always something new, and it's always like he's trying to sell you something instead of selling you on what he's actually doing. He's trying to sell you merch and hats and wristbands and shirts and all this other hot garbage. And I get why people say, you know what, he has been a good guy for over close to a decade now. At some point in time, you get a diminishing return out of continuing to package and present him in the same freaking way. And I know I have argued that before. So people, I understand when they say that in theory, John Cena needs to turn heel. But then you'll have the apologists that'll sit there and say, well, he means too much to the overall bottom line. He's good with the kids and the women like him, and he does all the Make-A-Wish stuff, and he does all this stuff for charities and Special Olympics and the Be a Star campaign and all of that. So you can't take him, the one that's hero to millions of children and lots of women love, and then all of a sudden turn him into a bad guy. Because that would be disastrous for all that charitable work, and it would be disastrous for the WWE from a bottom line standpoint. You'll get those people that'll say that too. To which I counter to both sides on this. No, you can't turn John Cena heel. Because he already fucking is one. Let me put it to you like this, as simply as I possibly can. I don't care how much the spin doctors in WWE, I don't care how much the pro-Cena propaganda people in WWE try to tell you otherwise. Oh, people boo him, people cheer him, but he gets a reaction, and that's what matters most. He's the most controversial individual of all time. The only thing controversial about him is the freaking colors of his damn shirt. Freaking Fruity Pebble-looking motherfucker. You're going to sit there and talk about whether he gets cheered or booed, it doesn't matter. At least he's getting a reaction. No, that's not a good thing. I don't know how many times I can freaking say this. If you go to the movie and you're debating whether you want to cheer for Batman or Bane, chances are that means Batman's not a very good hero. If you're going to sit there and decide whether or not you cheer for Spider-Man, again, that doesn't make him a good hero. The purpose of a hero is to get the people emotionally invested and get them behind the hero to see the good overcome the evil. And after all of these years of John Cena being pounded into the same spot and packaged and presented the same freaking way and always being made to look superior, even when it should be right for business for him to do the honors and actually look inferior, you know, it's one of these things. He has become the freaking heel. Because John Cena is the obstacle. The obstacle is the heel. John Cena is the obstacle. You want to know a perfect example of this? Look no further than the Nexus angle in 2010. Even when Cena was getting beat down by the Nexus occasionally, you always got that feeling that Cena was being presented in a way that the only way these guys could mess with them is if it was 7 or 8 on 1. And then you got to SummerSlam 2010, And there he is going over the Nexus for no fucking reason whatsoever. Cena reigns supreme. At every stop along the way, even when they had Sheamus running from the freaking Nexus, who was he seeking out? John Cena. John Cena is the barrier. He is the obstacle. You want another clear example of this? Look at the feud with the freaking Wyatt family right now. John Cena had absolutely no fucking business going over at WrestleMania 30. And that's exactly what they did. This is a guy here that they presented this clear opportunity with the steel chair in that match for him to either use it and get disqualified, and people could relate to that, be like, he snapped, he lost it. Or he lost because he didn't use the freaking chair, and people are like, you know what, that's admirable, that's honorable. He couldn't sit there and bring himself to do it, and that's why he lost. I kind of like that in him. I respect that in him. But they didn't do any of that. It's just Cena overcoming every fucking thing because he is the damn obstacle. It's why the whole steel cage match of freaking Extreme Rules was so damn stupid. John Cena had already beaten Bray Wyatt with help from Rowan and Harper at WrestleMania 30. Why would you put Bray Wyatt in that situation, especially where a couple weeks before on Raw, Cena almost pinned Bray Wyatt in a 3-on-1 handicap tag match? They clearly presented it in a way that there's no way that this fuck with help from his two goons could beat John Cena. So it was all a big schmaz at the finish. And then you get to the steel cage match in Extreme Rules. And I actually feel sympathy for Bray Wyatt. I'm actually getting behind Bray Wyatt. And I know that can't be the design. You want to know why I'm getting behind him? Because I feel that if I don't get behind Bray Wyatt, if I don't root for Bray Wyatt, if I don't support Bray Wyatt, there is absolutely no fucking way he is going to overcome the obstacle that is John Cena. The reason adult male fans boo John Cena goes deeper than just the 5 moves of doom and the Breakfast Club crap and all of this and all of that. It's because no matter what happens in WWE, I feel like it always comes back to John Cena, and it'll always be some excuse when he loses, and he will be super dominant and overwhelming when he fucking wins. Even look at when he did the job to Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam 2013. You know, he couldn't sit there and actually tap out to Daniel Bryan. Imagine if the guy whose whole motto is never give up actually gave up. Imagine the story that you could do with that, about him searching for himself. Not the hot garbage that they always do when they tear down Cena, even though they never fucking do. So Daniel Bryan wins, but it's all this excuses made by the pro-propaganda people like the Cole and JBL and Jerry the King Lawler talking about, oh, his arm was hurt, he wasn't 100%. Even when you sit there and are trying to get somebody else over big like a Daniel Bryan, you've always got to find a way to insert John Cena's fucking big nose in there, and that's coming from me, somebody with a big nose just like Hunter. So you know that means something. It's always about making sure that at the end of the day, it all comes back to Cena. It all comes back to him being the best no matter what, even if he is or even if he isn't. And you look at this feud with Bray Wyatt. Again, you've got freaking Rowan and Harper getting involved in the match, getting into the damn cage, and then Cena still almost wins the freaking match, and the only reason he didn't was because a damn kid was singing in a garbled voice. This is why the people don't like John Cena. This is why the people boo John Cena. This is why John Cena can't turn heel, because he already freaking is. He is the barrier. He is the obstacle. There's nothing to relate to when it comes to him. There's no reason to get engaged with him as a character. There is no reason to get emotionally invested in anything he does, because either A, you look at it from the perspective of, well, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, John Cena is going to reign supreme, or B, he's going to reign supreme all throughout the process. Anybody that happens to go against him is going to have to face all these barriers or obstacles that come from working with fucking Superman Cena. Cena can't turn heel. He already is one. He's the biggest heel in WWE today. Bottom line is, I don't care what the spin meisters, the people in the business try to tell you. When your top babyface is getting booed more than he's getting cheered, that makes him a heel or that makes him a tweener. Either way, he's not getting the designed reaction. And the reason he isn't because of the way he's been packaged, the way he's been pushed, the way he's been presented, the way he does the same old shit, and it always finishes the fucking same with anything involving John Cena. There's no point in turning him heel. If you turned him heel in theory, based off of our definition of what we believe to be heel, then John Cena might actually get cheered. Because then he might actually have obstacles to overcome. Because he would be booked against, let's say, a super dominant babyface a la Sheamus. So all you're doing with John Cena, if you flip him to the other side of the fence, is really putting him right back on the side of the fence he's designed to be on to fucking begin with. If the WWE actually wants him to be a babyface, then do a better job of telling decent stories with him. Do a better job of doing different things with him. Do a better job of getting us to get engaged in what he's doing, get involved in what he's doing, getting interested in what he's doing, getting us emotionally invested in him and his journey and his path. Like I said, SummerSlam 2013, perfect opportunity, arm injury or not. Have him tap out to Daniel Bryan. The guy that never gives up just fucking gave up, and he gave up to Daniel Bryan. That elevates Daniel Bryan's profile even more, and all the while you've got something with Cena you could sit there and say, oh my God, he doesn't know what he's doing. Imagine the segue as he eventually would feud with a Bray freaking Wyatt. Look at Extreme Rules 2012. The WWE completely screwed the pooch on that one because Brock Lesnar's coming back. He's back for the first time in 8 years. Here's the UFC badass. But he can't beat fucking John Cena at Extreme Rules, even though he kicked his ass for 95% of the match. Cena's still got to go over. Where's the obstacle? John Cena is the obstacle. There's really no reason for the return match, and they haven't had one since. Why? Because there's no point, because Cena already overcame the alleged obstacle. Brock Lesnar, if anything, would have the reason for the return match because he's got to face the ultimate obstacle. Which makes it so stupid that Lesnar 2 years later would end the freaking streak when he couldn't even beat John Cena. If anything, people would have totally bought it and totally believed it if John Cena ended the freaking streak at WrestleMania 30. Because, God damn it, he's always been pushed and packaged to do every other thing damn else. And that way, at least, you would have actually had a reason for the people to finally boo him instead of trying to go against the grain and do all this other crap. He would be the ultimate heel then, but he already is a heel. People, I'm trying to tell you, I guess bottom line, without getting too repetitive, you can't turn the guy heel. The reason you can't turn the guy heel is because he fucking already is one. And if you turn him heel based off of the way we understand it to be and the way a lot of you want it to be done, he would turn heel to actually be a babyface and get the reactions from us in a positive way. So until the WWE truly actually does something different with John Cena, until the WWE actually occasionally exposes his character to some vulnerable situations, until they actually have created somebody that he can't freaking beat, it's going to be the same old shit with Cena. We're going to be bitching, we're going to be pissing, we're going to be cussing and fussing and moaning and groaning. The WWE and their propaganda people are going to sit there and try and spin it. And all the while, the WWE is making X amount of money when they could be making Y and Z. And that's the bottom line.